Hello, YouTube. Today we will be playing Pillars of Eternity, the first one, and eventually the second one, as we get closer and closer to Avowed. And this is basically going to be our journey into Avowed, and hope and prepare you all, if you're interested in the game, for the background information of the world that Avowed is set in. So, Obsidian Entertainment. And beautiful cutscene. Pillars of Eternity. Now I can't remember if there's talking at the beginning. But this game was basically a Kickstarter project and it succeeded its Kickstarter, so all the DLC in this game, all like the classes are sort of DLC stuff. And this game was a revitalization of the real-time live-action CRPG or classic RPG format. We probably wouldn't have had Baldur's Gate 3 if it wasn't for Pillars of Eternity, just because of how much this revitalized the genre.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Alright. So, I think up next is character creation. And I'll show a little bit of it, but most of that I'll show the after product. So, you have your sex, race, class, culture, appearance, and voice, and I'll run through all that stuff once I have all this done. So, I'll see ya in however long it takes. Alright, welcome back. So, just a quick run through of our character. We are a female human, specifically meadowfolk, which basically does nothing. Like, it's just how you want your character to look. Like, it's basically like their, what we'd classify as race in our world, rather than their species. I've made them a priest of Barath because I haven't played a priest before in this game, and I think it'll be really interesting roleplay wise because you have to make certain options as a priest. These are the attributes. I focused on might and intellect the most, with a little bit of dexterity, because while they can't be frontliners, it helps to have at least some damage going on. This one, Living Lands, I made sure to pick that one because that's where Avowed takes place, so I just wanted to do something that connects us to Avowed a little bit. And I made them an explorer just for the attribute, but it can also help with their or for their skills, which is survival and some other things. That's going to be their appearance when they're talking, and then that's the voice that they've done, and their name is going to be BB, cause why not? Alright, let's get into it. We're now in the Gilded Vale. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. But see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Odema looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfell, who carries an old, sun-bleached bow. And then what he just said, and he nods in your direction. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulders. Where should I find those berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those
Nothing
ruins?
you won't see on half the hills of Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
So this game just sort of tosses you into the deep end, and I don't remember when they start giving you the codex entries for all the lore and all this
Of course,
stuff.
all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear. Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Okay, remember this name, the Ingwithans. They're kind of important for the story.
Not if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds up.
There's a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get up here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
What are those huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
All right.
It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
Oh, Adra.
The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Okay, so some lore stuff, soul butchers, Defiance Bay. This is a big city. Like, this is the big city in this area of the world that we're in. So we'll be going to that eventually, like fairly short, like in a couple of, this is like Act 2. Defiance Bay is like end of Act 1, start of Act 2. Soul butchers. Notice how he uses some of those words there. I'll go see about
Hold
those
on.
berries.
Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on an uneven ground without blanket or pillow. Oh boy, she a tough woman.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up at her own time. She needs to find some sprig berries. Watch that she doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
He chuckles to himself, and he looks at you. That's the first line. He casts a sidelong glance at her, and that was the second one.
Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
All right.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah?
Let's head out and look for those berries. Got it. Hey, Sparfell.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Okay. We're gonna go this way. See if there's anything over there. There's some of that. Not what
Let's
we're-
check by those outcroppings.
Oh, that's a wolf. Okay.
What you need?
You're the frontliner. You're actually like a backliner. Midliner. Okay.
Let's check by the...
Okay. Got it. Still messing around with how I paused everything. Because there's a bunch of options for auto pauses. Do I want to use a spell yet? Not yet.
those outcroppings.
So there's 2 health bars. There's the endurance, which will turn the portrait of the character red, and that's what tells you when the character's going to get knocked out. And then the green bar you see is their health. And if their health hits 0, then they die. And they're gone forever. If if their portrait turns red, then it just means that they're knocked out. And they have an injury.
Sure.
Alright. Let's see. Oh, I want to see what the wolf has. Wolf pelt, we can sell that. Anything over here?
Nice and slow.
What was the...
Yeah?
This is it.
Okay. We got sprigberries. Way back by the wolf. Blah blah blah. Adema says you've had some interesting travels. I lived out in the frontier for a time. Yeah, how's it you happen to come here? Alright, so I lived out in the frontier, in the living lands. It was a harsh place to live. I was surrounded by death out there. That kind of makes sense, but no, I'm gonna go with raiders destroyed my home. That's a damn little run of luck. Maybe a new setting will turn things around for you. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I've always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer makes a girl think, I'll give him that. You're here to settle, like the rest of the lot? It's a hard offer to pass up. You won't find many offers like it in these parts, believe me. Got some big plan in store? Probably gonna settle here and start a new life. I mean, why else would I not come out here? It's new land, new colony. Explore a little bit in this area. Well, who knows? Raedric pays well enough, maybe we end up neighbors. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odema will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here? Kaliska. I think that's how we pronounced her name. Sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages, been doing guide work in Ixmatil. But I do anything for her. She's a better woman than me, so I'm here and we'll see. The camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfell's getting water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into a cool water while Kaliska waits nearby. Keeping watch, as you rise, you notice her looking sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees, Sparfell, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfell? Are you alright?
Sparfell's toe catches on the rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag.